Hi, it's Bob Powers. Today I'd like to teach you how you could look at a pair of shoes and try to determine what quality level that you're getting, okay? So what I'm showing you here from right to left, this is a pair of, the brand of the shoe is Brass Boot. This shoe retails for, I believe, $95. This shoe here is a Florsheim pair of shoes. This shoe would retail for $125. And this is my pair of Allen Edmonds that retails for $395. So first let's start with where the shoe is made. Now, generally, it's believed that certain countries are going to produce better products. Now, from shoes made in the USA is going to be great. For example, this shoe, usually it would say on the interior of the shoe or under the tongue. In this case, on this shoe, it's stickers covering that one. It says right on the bottom of the sole, handmade, made in Spain. So Spain, Spanish-made shoes like Meslon is actually a Spanish brand of shoe that's, like their cheapest shoe is like $300. They go from like $300 to $600. So, but generally Spain, it's hard to tell. That could mean it's mediocre quality to excellent. Now here, this shoe, the Florsheim, if we look under the tongue, it says, you see it there? Made in India. There's the size of the shoe, 9.5 D is the width, 18358 is the model number. Leather upper, lining, and sole. Okay, so this is the upper, this is the lining, okay, and there's the leather sole. And the Allen Edmonds are kind of famous for, known for being, see it right there, made in the USA. Allen Edmonds' model is called the Park Avenue, okay? And if you look on their website, it doesn't say in the shoe, there's the information there, 11.5. The triple E is the width. There's the model number is 5615. And just for you nerds out there, Allen Edmonds, the model number, the last number, 5 is the last. In other words, that tells you what shape the shoe was built on. Okay, so now we've determined that this one is probably not as good quality. This one could be mediocre to high quality. So we know in this case that this shoe is not extremely great from the country of origin. This one could be great, might not be great. Just because it's made in Spain doesn't mean it's excellent. Made in the USA, you can pretty much be assured that it's really good quality from that standpoint. So materials. This one says genuine leather. If you go on their website and look up this model number, this shoe says full grain calfskin leather. You go on their website, this says full grain calfskin leather. So let me explain what full grain means. If you have a sheet of leather, okay, a cowhide, one of the processes, if you look at the cross section of the hide, it goes through a machine and it splits it, okay, into the top grain, and into the bottom, which is called split grain. Just like on your skin, the outside of your skin is the toughest, okay, compared to the underside. So top grain leather, right? Now, if you look on my arm, I have a scar there. Do you see that nice scar? Okay, I cut myself. So imagine a cow getting cut. Well, you couldn't have that scar right on your shoe. So what they'd have to do is actually correct it. They'd have to grind off that scar. Now, once the material has been corrected, it's no longer known as full grain. So top grain leather, full grain is the best top grain leather, okay? So corrected grain means stuff like this could be ground off, right? So understandably, it's more expensive because you're going to need more leather, and they're going to have to cut around those blemishes when you use full grain leather, okay? Now, I'm very surprised. I find it hard to believe that the full grain leather in this is going to be the same quality as in this shoe when this is $125 and this is almost $400. Okay, but it does say full grain calfskin leather on their website. It's either corrected grain or split grain, I can almost guarantee you. Okay, so the materials, and by the way, the process to turn an animal hide into leather is a very extensive one with many steps in it. So the materials makes a huge difference. I've purchased cheaper shoes. I have purchased 4 pairs of Bostonians, and all 4 pairs, after a couple, 3 years, will crack, right here, where the shoe bends. It doesn't matter how well you take care of them, and I believe that's because it's either corrected grain or split grain leather. It's just a cheaper quality, and it doesn't feel as good. It doesn't flex as easily, okay? These shoes are actually pretty old, and it's amazing how little, wrinkling they actually have because of the high quality of the leather material, okay? So, last thing we're going to talk about here is the construction. How is the sole attached? Let's look at this shoe, compare it to the Florsheim. At first, they look similar. Look closely at the Florsheim. You can very clearly see stitching running all the way inside a channel. The channel kind of protects the stitch. Runs all the way around the shoe. This is not really a stitch. it's leather, but they just molded the leather to look like it's stitched. So this is glued on, and at some point you can almost guarantee that if the sole doesn't wear out, it's going to actually come unglued from the upper and you throw the shoe away, okay? Now this is called Blake stitched. If you look at the top side of the sole, you don't see any stitching. Those stitches go to the interior of the shoe, so there's actually little holes here that can wick water into the interior of the shoe. The Allen Edmonds, you can see there, right, there's that same channel, the stitching. But if you look at the top side, do you see? You can see the stitches. Now, if you look at the sole, back to the Florsheim, this is one piece of leather, okay? The sole is one piece of leather stitched to the upper. With the Allen Edmonds, this is actually two pieces of leather, okay? What you're seeing here is the outsole, and do you see that line right there? If I can get in the light, that line right there? This is not the outsole, that is the welt. So what they do is they take a strip of leather about this wide, and it gets sewn to the upper before the sole goes on. They sew the welt, goes all the way around the shoe, okay? Gets sewn to the upper, then the outsole gets sewn to the welt. So number one, water does not go into the interior of the shoe. Number two, you can actually cut those threads, remove the outsole, and you could put a new leather sole on. I know several people that have had Allen Edmonds. One guy I know has one pair of shoes for 27 years and they still look great. Okay, so what you're going to get in a $395 shoe is you're going to get the some of the best materials, more handwork, hand craftsmanship. You're going to be not cutting corners, and you're going to get amazing leather, just full grain aniline leather, just feels great. And the quality of the shoe is much, much higher, and it's going to last much, much longer and be serviceable, okay? So I hope that kind of helps as far as looking for shoe quality.